So hello you guys and welcome back to my channel. It is time for the next installment in the Halloween series that I'm doing here on YouTube, where I have a special guest on to talk each time about a project that they were in regards to horror or Halloween. Today's guest, lads. Today's guest is the absolutely divine Frankie Gonzalez, or Frankie G. This is a guy that if you like horror, you know the face, you know it. He plays Xavier in Saw 2. We all know Xavier. If you've seen the movie, you know Xavier and you have thoughts on Xavier. It was an absolute delight to talk with Frankie. He is such a... I say it at the end of the interview with him, but like you can see when somebody's adoration for the art shines through when you're speaking to them, and it just shines from him. It's so surreal because Saw is such a huge part of pop culture. It's such a huge part of the horror world. If you're like me and you are out of your mind obsessed with horror, you've seen Saw. You've seen Saw a bunch of times. You see it every Halloween. You see it in the Halloween shops, the masks, the little props, the animatronics. So to get to actually speak to somebody who was a major part of one of the films and hear the behind the scenes, hear the little stories, it was an absolute treat. I will be posting the link to Frankie's Instagram in the description down below. I'm not sure if he has a Twitter. I will check, and if he does, I will have it linked down below. Yeah, let's just get into it. Oh, I was thinking, just to kick things off, I would love to know where this all began for you, where you got your start in acting and where you kind of realized that you could pursue it as a career.
Well, when I started acting, I was going to school. I was going for an engineer's apprentice, and I used to answer ads on the backstage. Or we used to, at that time, many years ago. Now it's Actors Access and what have you. But then I answered an ad in the backstage. It was an indie film called Manito, but it was before that name came about. It was called Cruel World, and then he changed the name to Manito. And to make a long story short, when we shot the film all over New York City, went on to Sundance and won many awards. And I was getting pursued by a lot of agents, but I still wasn't sure if I wanted to keep doing the acting. So when I went back to New York, I was still, talking to agents. And then I got offered to do a film called Confidence, and then it went on from there. And then I got a TV show, and then I did the Italian Job. What's funny about the Italian Job, I was written into that movie, and there was no character wrench in the script. So when I asked the director, what is this? This is a script, but I don't have a character here. He goes, no, they're writing you in. So they wrote me into the Italian Job. So that was an honor, And then I got the TV show on Fox, and then it went on from there. But then I took off for a little while. I took off for a couple of years, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to come back.
Really?
Yeah. It was it was a little difficult times and stuff like that. So but in a good way. And but it was in the acting business, it's at that time when I was hot at that time, I was like going back and forth to California. It was really it was really taking a strain on me, So and then I just laid back for a little bit. And
it all worked out though.
Yeah, and then I came back and then I did a movie. I went out to Sundance again with Isan Morales, and it was shot in the Bronx, and it was based on a true story, and it was Rashad Green that directed it, and from there I got Power. I did Power on Stars. That was great. And the Saw thing came about much later on.
It's funny that you bring up projects like Manito and the Italian Job, because I loved both of those films. Loved both.
Thank you. Oh, you seen Manito?
Yeah. I thought it was absolutely gorgeous.
Oh my God.
Really, honest to God.
Yeah, that was such a guerrilla film that we used to, like, now there's all these things, you can use all these cameras now.
Yeah.
But we had the little camcorders and the little lenses, and one broke off. So what they did, they taped it on. We shot it. Yes, it was such guerrilla style. And the graduation scene, we snuck in there. We snuck into the graduation scene.
For
That
real.
was yeah. We gave the other actor, a talented actor as well, to Leo Manaya, and we gave him a gown and a hat and everything. I said, and so when everyone went in with the gowns and we said, let's just go in. And I was a little skeptic. I was a little nervous. I said, man, I don't want to get busted. You know, like, no, don't worry. Let's go. Hide the camera. Hide the camera. And we just walked right in. That was great, man. That was so much fun.
But it worked because you wouldn't know.
Yes, yes. And we just snuck in. They didn't ask for tickets or nothing like that. All right, come on, come in, because they saw the other actor with a cap and gown.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that was hilarious. It was a great film to make too.
And it's gorgeous. And I loved, one thing I loved about it was, it's funny that you bring up the camcorders because I was going to say I really liked how it was filmed. I liked the visuals.
Thank you.
But it's
Mhm.
world apart from the Italian Job or from Saw 2.
Yes,
So
yes.
what draws you to projects? Because you've kind of done a real
I
bag.
I I love. I'm looking for something like a Manito too, because it showed all the emotions, all the. Everyone looks at me like, oh, he's a tough guy. He plays a lot of tough. Yes, true that. I mean, it pays the bills and stuff. But I like something like a Manito, and showing the emotion and you're caring for your family and all that good stuff that blends into a character, to the acting, to tapping into those feelings, because I don't mind doing all that. You know what I mean? The getting emotional. That's what I enjoy.
There's something more grounded in roles
Yes,
like that. That
yes,
it's gritty and real.
yes. It is real. And I knew a person that was like that. I worked with a guy. I used to work for a moving company many years ago, and when I was approached with this script, when I was approached with the character after I read for it, Eric Easton was the director,
Mm.
and and I and when I read it, I said, "Oh my God, it sounds like this guy that I work for." And I spoke to him too when we were on the job, and he gave me some more information on his life and what he went through, But not everything in the film that was that, but I gave it a little bit of what he went through in the film, about caring for his family. He's trying to change his life, and that's what he was doing. He did time in prison. And so when he came out, he wanted that. He wanted to change. He wanted his family. He didn't want to get him back involved in the streets.
Mm.
So, and that's what I brought to Manito. And when we shot it in the Bronx, it brought the character out, and he lived in the Bronx. He lived in the Bronx. He moved to Jersey. So that's one thing I liked about Manito. It was gritty, man. And Eric Easton, his vision of writing was great, and I enjoyed it. And I try to look for something like that. I mean, but there's nothing like that.
I don't want to say any names, but since the kind of Marvel, Disney kind of scene really took over, it does feel like we're kind of pushing towards bigger kind of blockbusters in favor.
Yeah, it's all about. Yeah, it's all about now. It's about the Benjamins. It's all about bringing the money back into the theaters and putting the big actors in there and just bringing back the money. It's all about the Benjamin.
But every
You
now
know,
and again, a little gem like that does slip through.
yeah, and there's some out there. I watch a lot of Netflix. I watch a lot of foreign films that are really, really good written, really good, and I enjoy the acting and when I sit there, I study it at the same time because I say, "Wow, this is great," and it's just watching it and seeing it take go the episodes. You
Mm.
know, it's just it's great. Mhm.
It does it kind of ruin it for you, given what you do? Like you said, that you kind of look at it from an actor's point of view, or you take notes. Does it
Right.
affect how you watch things?
Well, in what sense? Like the American film or foreign film?
Either or, because if you're watching, are you watching it from a purely, like me, like a viewer? Or
Mhm.
could you be watching it thinking like,
Oh,
I like
y-
that camera move, or I like
yes,
what they're doing?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I say, what a beautiful shot! Wow, that's a great shot. Oh, that's great. Oh, he really tapped into his emotion. But then sometimes I know what's going to happen next. I
Yeah.
really like a script. You know what I mean? I said,
Yeah.
I think this is, and I said, I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. But when I watch the foreign films I watch, I like to see it with the subtitles. I don't like to see it like them trying to speak English.
Yeah,
because
yeah, the
it
dubbed.
takes out the flavor from the film. You
Mm.
understand? And I enjoyed it like that. I enjoyed so much. You know what? There was one foreign film that I really, really loved, and it's an Italian film called Gomorrah. It was episodic, and I watched it years ago.
Mm.
Man, I loved that. It was an Italian film called Gomorrah about these gangs that lived in Gomorrah in the ghetto of Italy. But the story was fantastic. I used to hurry up to watch the other episodes. You know what I mean? I couldn't wait till next week. So I used to, oh, do I got the next episode? Oh, yes. Oh, good. I play and I go to bed like 1 in the morning, you know? But the characters were so real, it was they brought I mean the realness of it was great and I enjoyed it.
Absolutely. I think you hit the nail with the foreign film or foreign projects because
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I recently, I think it was during 2020, got really big into foreign film.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, maybe it was around 21, maybe, they put this new show up on Netflix called All of Us Are Dead. And
Oh,
it's
I heard about that. Yeah, I haven't
really
seen that
good.
one yet.
Are you cool with zombies? Like, do you like zombie
Yeah,
projects?
I did a movie, indie film, about a year ago, and I play a vampire. It's based on zombie and vampires. Called
No.
Nana. Yeah, it's called Nanatoke, and they're having a screening. I can't make it. And they're having a screening out in Pennsylvania. It's about the vampires taking on the zombies, and it's a real independent film.
Yeah.
And so they're just shopping it around right now. So I have fangs on me. It was crazy, but it was fun to do. It was fun. It was fun.
That sounds sick. The concept sounds absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. They had me. There was one scene. The director said action, so they had the drone overhead, and so he told me, Frankie, just do. There's a car, you punch this zombie on one side, then you throw this zombie on the other side. Then you're going after where the truck is. All of a sudden, he starts to take off, and you just try to run after it. But I didn't do that. What I did, I tried to smash the truck. It's like because the car, he couldn't get the car out soon enough.
Yeah.
So I went after and I went to smash it and I missed it. And it was perfect. The guy said, "Oh my God, that's cut." And the drone, when the drone went over, it looked so crazy, man. It was so crazy. He goes, "You got to do that again." The people went crazy with that.
Does it have a title?
It's called Nanatoke. It's based in the Pennsylvania. It's a city in Pennsylvania. It's hard to spell it. Nanatoke. You could probably look it up on
Yeah.
my IMDb, but it's but they shot it. It was a low budget, and I didn't mind doing it. I knew the casting director, and I wanted to do something different. I played a military guy, and we had a lot of fun doing that. It was great, But one thing they couldn't put, like all the other vampires had their eyes white or
Mm.
red. They couldn't put the contacts on me because I just couldn't hold it. They tried putting it in. And my eyes kept closing. My eyes kept closing. And
Really?
yes, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Even the makeup artist that does it to everyone came
Mm.
up to me because I could do it. I could do it. So and it's still I couldn't do it. Yeah, we'll put it in post.
It's
So
funny that you mentioned the contacts. I was talking to Jameson Newlander recently, who was in The Lost
mhm.
Boys, and
Yes.
he had a scene where he played a vampire, and I asked him about the contacts, and he said, one lot that they used was fine, and similarly, he said that there was one. He was like, my eyes burned the entire time.
Hmm. Yeah.
Contacts can
It,
be rough.
yeah. Even though I wanted it on, but it's just my eye. It's just the protection. You close your eyes every time.
Yeah,
It's like, and so I said, I'm sorry, but I can't. They tried and tried. I said, no. He goes, we'll do it in post. They'll just put my eyes in post. That's it.
movie magic.
Yeah, yeah. Now the way it is now, it's incredible.
I know
So,
things you can
and
do afterwards. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But moving from those kind of more indie projects to
Sure.
something like Saw,
Oh, so yes, so.
like so many others, I first discovered this franchise when I was
Mhm.
12, 13, and I watched most of the films like that, looking through my
Right,
films.
right.
Um, saw one pretty intense, pretty gritty, very kind of small scale, claustrophobic. You come on then for the second one. Had you seen the first one? Were you a fan?
No, I wasn't. The truth, I used to see all the big posters in the city and on
Mm.
the highways of Saw One, and I was I think I was doing a show at the time, and I was approached with it, and Darren Bosman, the director, and my agents, they spoke. They said they're doing Saw Two, and I said, "What Saw?" You know, and he goes, "It's this horror movie." So I go, "Well, send you the DVD," and they sent me the DVD, and I watched it, and I really, really enjoyed it because I like the psychological concept of it. He said, "We're going to send you the script. If you like it, we're going to fly you down to Canada. You speak to the director, and if you guys collaborate, fine. You know, he'll give you the role." And we did. And I went down there and I told Darren I love it. And he goes, "Okay, fine. Let's work. Let's do it together." And that's what we did. And I had a great time doing it. You know what's so funny? If I could do it today again, I have so many different ideas. Oh
Really?
my God. Yeah. Yeah. Xavier will be different. And you know what's so funny that my son is named Xavier, and everyone thought I named him after the movie Xavier, and it
Yeah.
wasn't. It was my wife. She really loved the name Xavier for many years, and so I said, "Well, name him Xavier Frank," and that was it. And so when I got the movie, people thought, "Is that name after your son?" I said, "No, that was before."
Meant to be.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So I had a
Um,
lot of fun on the set of Saw. It was really really good, and nobody and I know people love the pit scene.
yeah.
Everyone loves the pit scene. But let me tell you a story, and I don't know if you know, but when we had the screening in New York, I went and I saw Shawnee. Me, Shawnee, we all. He goes, "Frank," and she pulled me to the side. She says, "Frankie, you killed it." And then she says, "You know, I was 4 months pregnant when you threw me into the pit, and I didn't know that." I said, "Are you serious?" I just said, "Thank God nothing happened," because I really threw her in there, you know.
Yeah.
It was a fun scene to shoot, and that was it. And then when I go to these, I just started doing these appearances in horror conventions, because I very rarely do appearances.
Yeah.
When I was approached to do it many years ago, I just wouldn't do it. I just did the movies, go to premieres, do interviews, and then that's it.
Mm.
Uh, but then I started this year doing it, and I got some really good buzz out of it. And but there's people that didn't know when they see me in the conventions, they didn't know I was there. Oh my God! They bring their posters, they bring their Saw things, they bring their whatever. I said I couldn't believe it, and they bring their masks or what
Yeah.
have you, and you know, and that's something, you know, that there's Saw fans out there like that. And they always telling me Saw Two was your character was OG, man. You know, it was really crazy, and
Yeah.
they love that character. You know, I said thank you so much. And you know what gets me too? Uh, people write on my Instagram, and then they write to the fan. They go, "You got to meet him. He's such a nice guy. He's this. He's not like the guy in the movie."
Yeah.
I said, "Of course not. I'm an actor, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I mean, what am I supposed to be? Carry my bat everywhere I go? You
But it's
know,
so
so
funny that you bring that up because
uh-huh.
I was telling my brother had some friends over recently,
Mm-hmm.
and I was telling one of his friends that I was going to be interviewing you, and
Mm-hmm.
they'd all recently watched Saw because it's leading up to
Right,
Halloween. And
right.
he turned around to me and he goes, "Who?" And I went, "You know, Xavier from the second one." And he was like, "Oh yeah." And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Well, what's he like?" And I was like, "I haven't met him yet, but he seems really sweet. Like he seems really nice." And he turned around to me and he said, "Well, tell him I said he must be a damn good actor because I hated him in the film.
Yeah,
He was
but
such an ass."
that was the objective. That
Yeah.
was the objective. So when people, what you know, what gets me? What I was out in Pennsylvania. I did my first not the, I did my first appearance. So
Mm.
a lot of people didn't. Like, someone heard that I was there. He drove 2 hours down. He brought the saw. He brought the hammer. He brought Billy the puppet, talking puppet. He brought everything, and I was dressed up sort of like my wife told me. She worked in marketing years ago,
Mm.
and she said, "Come in like the character, Frankie. See what it's like at the first time." So I had my cutoff sleeve shirt. I had blood on me. I had the pants, not the pants from the movie. I had gray pants. My daughter, she was dressed up like Billy. She had the paint in
Oh,
the face. Yes, she walked in with me and everything, right? So the guy said, "Can you, Frankie, can you do this for me, please?" And I didn't. So the saw was rubber.
Yeah.
So we took the picture of him cutting my neck
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
sun, and I was like this, and you were like, "Oh, that was great." They were taking pictures and all that, and he
Yeah.
loved it, and it was so. I didn't mind doing that,
Mm.
because these people they came out a long way, and I don't mind. I'm like that. I'm like that, and I just sign in. That's it. But I have fun with these guys. They're really cool.
It's funny
So
that you bring up conventions though, because you really should get into doing the convention circuit.
yeah, I know. You're right. I know, and I just recently started doing it. And when we were out in, I went out to the one in Houston,
Hmm.
and it was great. I was in the panel. It was cool. But and then I just recently did one in San Antonio, but I was hired by the guy who owns the store, the horror store. He had a Reapers Creepers. What a beautiful store, man. And I sat there, and everybody was coming in, and I was just signing pictures. I was by myself, and some people didn't know I was there. Sometimes it's like they have to get it out there. It
Mm.
just has to be more out there that I'm there and stuff like that. And I wanted to do the 20th anniversary of Saw,
Mm.
and but they were just doing Saw 1, so I would like to have done the anniversary too. But
I think I
but
think next year is the 20th year anniversary of Saw 2.
oh really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did your brother? Oh, your brother, right? You're talking about what,
But it
your
was it
brother?
was my brother and my brother's friend, the two
All
boys
right.
together.
Did they like the cut, the scene when I cut my neck right off? Let
Okay.
me tell let me give you something about that now. People didn't know this neither. When I cut the neck, when I cut my the number from the yes, go. That's my daughter. She's go, you can go.
No worries.
When the FX put all that, it took like 4 hours to put in, 3 hours to put in. So the first take, I threw it and I threw it. The minute I cut it, I got so mad and I threw it at them. They couldn't find the skin piece.
Oh, jeez.
So they did it again. They go, Frankie, can you do me a favor, please? When you throw it somewhere we could find it. I said, okay. So the scene we shot, action, we did that. All of a sudden, when I cut my neck off, when I cut it, I looked at it, as you saw in the film,
Yeah.
wondering where I'm going to put it. And I put it in my pocket. They went crazy. They went bananas, man. And they kept it on the film. They kept it in the film.
That's the shot that made it into the
That
film.
made it into film, yeah. That was a shot that you saw in the actual movie.
And that was you just thinking
Yes, I was just
where to
holding it
put
up,
it.
like, and I go, boom, and that was it. And people said, "That's excellent! Oh my God, you put it in your pocket. We didn't think about that." And so, one thing about Darren was he would come up to me and speak to me and say, "Frank, what would you do in this scene?
Mm.
What would you say in this scene?" And there was one scene when I was ramming the bat into the gate,
Mm-hmm.
and I told Amanda, that I said, the only thing you like to do is something between your legs or whatever like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
So I went back to the hotel. My wife was there, and she's a writer. And I asked her, Frank, there's a scene I got to do. I'm going to smash it. There's something I want to say. I want to say something that's crazy because I know she's a hooker and this and that. And then she gave me the line. And that's when I went up to Darren. Darren said, yes, that's the one. And they put it into the film.
Because it fits so well with him.
Yes,
Character.
her character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna turn those lights back on. That was
Yeah,
so
go right
brilliant
ahead.
at telling the story
But
and
you got a spooky place over there.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
A
hey,
spooky.
I'm Irish. I live in Ireland.
Oh yeah.
We're known for our spookiness and our fairy tales, I think. Yeah, so the set for the second one,
Huh?
it's bigger. You have the whole house, you have all the corridors going on.
Right.
It still keeps a lot of the claustrophobia and a lot of the grittiness
Mm-hmm.
of the first one.
Right.
That was a set, was it? It wasn't an actual house.
That was a warehouse. Everything was shot in a warehouse. They built everything inside the warehouse. Everything was built in the warehouse. The furnace, everything that you saw there
Hmm.
was in that warehouse. The only thing they shot was outside with Donnie Wahlberg and all those outside
Yeah.
shots. Yeah, yeah. So
And
yeah,
what was it like then walking onto set, walking in and actually seeing it and being a part of it for the first time?
that was incredible. I just the way what I like the way they built it, the way it was being put together. That's what blew me away. I walked around it just to take a look at it and just to get the feeling of it. Because that's one thing about me. I like to go to set with my costume and just get the feel of the set, get the feel, and get into that mode of that character.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I really enjoyed that. And so, just going on to set, and 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 and, and it was just great. It was a blessing just doing working on it, because I know the impact this two was going to be for the second one.
Mm.
You know, so yeah. You know what's so funny, that when I finished, when I wrapped in the movie, I went home and they told me when it was going to open, and when it opened, it was sold out, right? So I told my friends, I spoke to a lot of my friends, and I said, "How about let's go to the movies? I want to go to the movies when it opens up," and which we did. We went out to Long Island. I had my hood. I had a hoodie on. The minute I walked in, nobody, it was like, nobody had seen it yet. It was packed. It was sold out. I put my hood down and I sat in the front, and there was like 10 of us. We're all sitting in a row, and everybody, "Oh my God, you hear the grind." And I said, "All right, let's go. We got to go. We got to go. I got to go. I don't want to walk out of here with these people. I got to go." So I said, "Let's go." At the end, we left. So we started, go, "Frankie, put your hood down. Put your hood down." I said, "I'm not doing that, because I don't want them coming up to me and say, 'Oh my God, oh, shoot, that did, what happened this, what happened?'" Nope.
Yeah.
We left. So that was great, just seeing the reactions of the audience.
Dude,
That's
you
what I do.
should have. You should have pulled your hood down. If I was
I
in,
know, I
I
know.
was in a theater
That
and
would
I
have been
heard,
bananas. That would
you would have
that
gone
would have been bananas.
crazy.
Yes, that would have been bananas. Yeah, I know. Oh, forget it. It was
But you
crazy.
probably would have been mobbed. It would have been
Yeah,
insane.
it was crazy people there. But I had a lot of good friends of mine that was with me.
Yeah.
And but they were laughing. So we just walked out of the theater. We just walked. I had my hood up, and then I put it down when we got into the car.
And how did your friends and family respond to it? Because, like we said, the character is pretty dark. You
Oh,
know,
they know how I am. And so when they look, they go, "Damn, Frankie, you a nasty man. You a nasty." I said, "That's why I don't get me mad. That's what I get. That's what I do."
and like the gore and stuff, were they cool with that too?
The gory stuff, yeah.
Mm,
One time I showed my daughter or my
mm,
son, also Xavier, and I showed them some of the scenes. They were like, when they were a little smaller,
mm.
and they were like, "Oh my God," they got really emotional. I said, "That's fake.
Yeah.
I'm here. What are you doing?" And now they just look at it like nothing. So,
I mean, I guess it's because back then that was probably the most extreme gore that you could see.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It really was. It was trailblazing in terms of like physical horror.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what I really like that. It was fun to do with all the actors. It was great. Um, so I had a good time with it. It was fun. It was fun. Now they're coming out with 11.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that. And there was the spin-offs. There was Spiral and Jigsaw as well, wasn't there?
Yeah. And people ask me, "Are you going to be in 11?" I say, "How am I going to be in 11?" I say, so, but then I came up with a concept, and I go, "Well, the only way I could come back, if I
Mm.
come back as a twin, his twin brother, and I come back looking for him. That's all. I come in with a roll bar, maybe shave
Yeah,
my head, have
yeah.
a test. Yeah. So, and that'll be, they go, "Oh my God, I didn't know. I could see that," because you never know. They never
Yeah.
said he had a twin. Yeah. And then people at the end of the movie probably be surprised. The bat comes through. And then I told my friend a concept of it, that his Jigsaw sitting in all his, you see all his computer, and he sees all his victims
Mm.
already being tortured. But next thing you know, in the back of his, he has a doors and all that. He hears the smashing of doors, and he's looking through. He goes, "What's going on here?" He goes, "Wait a minute!" And then he punches one camera, punches the other. Well, wait a minute, they're all here. Boom! And he goes, "But what is it? Who is this?" And he keeps smashing and smashing and smashing and smash. And he's going crazy. He goes, "What is going on?" All of a sudden, he turns around and he sees the bat going right through the door,
That would be
and the nails at the.
in.
And then that's when the movie ends. It could probably end with the bat going through the door, pulling out, and eyes going, like you see the eyes of the door, like The Shining, and he
Yeah.
just looks at it like this, and it ends like that, not knowing who
I
it
could
is.
totally see them trying to do something because like realistically with a franchise like this,
Mm-hmm.
how long is it going to go on for? You know what I mean?
I know, but a lot of people like my character, so I'm just saying, I could end them right there.
I could totally see that if they do try and wrap it up like for good, for like the last
Yeah,
in the franchise, I could
Yes.
see them bringing back everybody from like all of the victims from throughout the
Yeah.
films. I think that would be cool.
So bring back I come as a twin
Yeah.
because I'm looking for him and I'm wondering what the. So next, I find out where he's at, and I look around and I see the bat and or whatever, and then I know, and then I probably see him, or whatever, or whatever his skull, a skeleton, and everything like that,
Mm.
and then I pick up the bat, and that's when I
You
be
get to
looking for
work.
just right.
Yeah.
I smash everything. I smash everything looking for him, and then I hear it, and then I see a light from at the end. Look, I'm already thinking about it
Yeah.
at the end. And that's when I go and I start smashing the living daylights out of it. And that's they won't show it that, but that'll be shown on if it ever happens
Mm.
at the because I'm thinking of the ending of 11 that they see my eyes and then that's it.
That would
That'll
be
be
great.
there. But people are like, oh my God, you mean he's back? How the hell is he
Yeah.
back? No, it's his twin brother that
That
comes
would
back.
be sick. And people would go crazy to see a familiar face.
Right, right. And
Yeah.
everywhere I go, when I go to these conventions, you're my favorite. Oh my God, are you gonna come back? Or I don't know. It's up to Lionsgate. It's up to Jason, Constantine, and
Mm.
the rest of who's involved. And if that calls for that, I'm ready for it because I already have if the story and the objective is right,
Mm.
and not just doing a movie just to get fans and seats and money, but just the storyline. I know James Wan or the writers or whatever. I know they'll come up with something cool. So.
Yeah.
Well, I got to see see what happens. If they ever approach me with that, that'll be my idea.
And with Xavier, then I mean, he is he's a bad egg. We'll put it that way. But when you're reading the script for a character like this, I mean, the line that stuck out to me was
Mm-hmm.
we get backstory on everybody. We find out, why we're all here, what the commonality is.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier turns and he says, what was it? The only thing that you people have in common is you're holding me back. And he stomps off by himself.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. That
when you're
that
reading a script like that, do you yell at it like, when you're watching a TV show or a film and you're going, why are you doing that, you idiot? Would you have that kind of response when you're reading scripts and you come across things that, you know?
at times, yes. And
Yeah.
that part, I really understood why he said what he said.
Mhm.
And I said that when I said, well, then you're staying here. I'm getting out of here. You
Yeah.
guys could do what you want. Now I'm on my own.
Mm.
That's Xavier. He's from the streets. He was a drug dealer. And he'll do anything to get out. And that's what he did, and that's what he was doing,
Mhm.
and that's what I feel. But sometimes I get some scripts that I may say, "Wow, this is great! Wow, this is crazy, man!"
Yeah.
And then I think about what can I do? Ooh, can I say? And that's what I liked about when I did Power on Stars. I used to go to some of the writers and then we'll do what they said. And I'll just say to them, "Hey, listen, I got one line. Can I just try something?" And they really liked it because I try to bring the character to say the line that pertains to the character that fits the character
Mm.
in a sense. Yeah.
And in terms then of script reading and stuff like that, is it often the case that it is a collaborative effort? So like you said, that you could go and say, come here, I have this idea for a line or for
Oh, yes, they ask me that sometimes. When I did CSI Miami, I was a guest star and what's his name? Forget his name. The actor, the producer. Well, anyway, we were doing a scene, and I was playing an MMA fighter, and there was a scene that I fall to the ground. The producer came over to me. He said, "Frankie, what would you say when you're on the ground? What would you say? You're a fighter." So he got all the writers together. Some of the writers will tell me that this guy loves to change the lines.
Mm.
So please just go with the line. Try to get all the lines out if you can.
Mm.
So when we got everybody together, he goes to me, "Frankie, what's your lines?" So I told him. He goes, "No, you're not saying that. We're going to say this, to this, to this." He changed everything. So the line was when I was on the floor. He goes, "Frankie, here, I got something. You're on the ground. What would you say? You're on the ground. What would you say to that? What? You're on the floor. What would you say to that?" I said, "I don't know yet. I don't know." He goes, "Think about it and come back and talk to me." This is from the producers. So I said, "All right." So I went and I sat down. I looked at the script. I said, okay, I'm an MMA fighter. I
Mm.
haven't lost. And I'm ramming the MMA because they cheated me out of my money or whatever it was. So when I laid on the ground, if I don't know if you saw the episode, when I got shot, I was on the ground and I said, oh, so this is how it feels to be on your back. So when I went back, he went, all right, Frank. And we got everybody together. He goes, what would be the line that you say? Well, I'm an MMA fighter. I haven't lost a fight. So when I get shot, I fall to the ground. I said, oh, so this is how it feels to be on your back? He says, oh, that's great. We're using that. We're using that's perfect. That's perfect. And that's what was on the film. And
Gee.
then he says, and then he came back with something else. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I imagine there's a moment of like, yeah, when you do come up with something like that and you get that kind of response.
Oh yeah, that's great. It feels good. It feels good because I'm really paying attention to the character.
Yeah.
I try to do a backstory with the character.
Mm,
And the only way I could come up with that line is focusing on the backstory, what he was like,
mm.
how he is, and the same thing with Xavier. With the when I said those lines and I had to come up with it, my wife came up with it.
And it's funny you brought up, I think it was the CSI you just brought up. Because
Yeah, that was what's his, oh well, I forgot his name, the lead guy.
yeah.
Uh,
I'm blanking on it too. I'm not gonna lie. I saw you
it's
struggling, and
been
I
a
was like, I
while.
can't think of the fucking
I
name.
know, I know. CSI Miami. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Um,
know. And I used to mention his name all the time, and all of a sudden now,
it's
forget it.
always when you're looking for it that it won't come to you.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But you also did an episode of Blue Bloods
Yes,
with
yes. I
Donnie,
played
who was
Sergeant Russell.
also in Saw.
Yeah, and Donnie Wahlberg was so funny is that he was telling everybody, "Oh my God, we did Saw 2 together. He was
Yeah.
crazy. He was great. He was this. He was that. We knew each other for 10 years and all that." I'm saying, "Oh, that's great. Thank you, Donnie." And we're just talking up a storm about the past and stuff.
Mm.
And he was great. He was doing a tour before. When I shot those scenes, I was playing Sergeant Russell, and it was so cold. It was cold that day. It must have been like what 15 degrees or something like that outside. We shot that. Yeah.
And do things like that then impact the performance? Like if it is super cold or super
No,
hot?
thank God my scene was to run to the I used to run up the stairs just to stay warm.
Oh my
So I
God.
run there, run back, run. I was
So
like,
you
I'm
were
ready, let's
just
go.
warm.
So then we go into the car with all the things and then we say the lines. And yeah, that was good. That was good.
In terms then of particularly difficult scenes in any project that you've done,
Mm.
the pressure must be on if it's something like Saw, where it's Xavier's last scene, say, where it's particularly gory. The pressure must be on to not mess up because of how long it would take to reset a scene like that.
That's why you have to come prepared. You really one thing I like to do is that I come prepared. And I'm always saying my lines no matter where I go. I could be standing in the line and I'm saying my lines and I'm mumbling to myself and I'm saying, but I like to come. When I come to set, I want it. It's the prepare. You got to be prepared, and sometimes you're gonna have blanks and then you have to improvise sometimes and it happens. Also, the writing and if the writing doesn't feel like it's like singing. The writing has to come in like Shakespeare. I did Shakespeare before. I did Macbeth with my wife. It has to make sense in a sense. You know what I'm trying to say? It has
Yeah.
to come out, bloom, bloom, bloom. And sometimes the lines it doesn't come out. It doesn't. I said it doesn't make sense. And I said I'll say the lines. Okay, I'll say them, get them out. Then I may say, can these lines right here? Can I just put in something
Hmm.
and they let me do it. And sometimes they don't. Everything's fine. I said okay. Then I leave it alone. But if they tell me, yeah, they say to me, all right, let's try it. Because I already gave them the one that they want, in a
And they
sense,
have it.
and they have it.
Yeah.
So, and then when they see, and then they could just put it together. Say, oh, I like this one because it made sense of what he's doing or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know.
And then in terms of actually running lines and learning lines and going over
Mhm.
scripts, what is your creative process when it comes to that? How do you help it stick?
Well, I try to go over it a lot of time, but I try to find the objective of it. I read the other person's lines to see. It's like I'm talking to you,
Mm.
and you're asking me questions, and I'm giving you back. So I try to do that. Okay, what is the want? What does he want from me? And then that's when we just and I just try looking at it and looking at it. And then sometimes there's one word or two words. I say, oh, that's what, and I circle it. That's what it is. So this is what I have to say to him to make sense to what he's saying to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, yeah. So we had a scene in Wonderland when Tel Aviv couldn't get this line out. Tel Aviv. And so we're in the hotel room. And it was me, Tel Aviv, my wife, and we're trying to get this scene, and his lines wouldn't come out. He was great. The guy is a great actor. But this line, there was one line. If I about when he says something about the investigation, and so then my wife said, "Why don't you do this?" Like we were talking about it, but he couldn't get it out the way, so he needed an action. And the action we gave him to throw the paper to the ground, to throw this doesn't say blah blah blah, and he did it, and the line came out beautiful. So he did it in the hotel room, and then he did it when we shot it, and it came out beautiful. It was beautiful. It was great. So we collaborated like that, and then that's what brought it up because there was a line he couldn't come out with, and that's what boom, and then it came out perfect. It was beautiful, and then it kept coming out like water. You kept slamming like it was the rhythm of it.
Yeah,
and that's sometimes you find that. And when I work with Dustin Hoffman, I love watching him. I love Dustin Hoffman. When I watch him, it's like absorbing masterclass. And he was my masterclass. And so watching him was great. And when we sat down and read, I was nervous because I like all his movies, Papillon, whatever, Steve McQueen. I love those. And I spoke to him about that too. And we were talking about Steve McQueen. And he sat down. He goes, Frankie, just have fun. Just have fun with it. And he did. We did. We had a lot of fun with it. And there was a scene. I don't know if you watched Confidence. If you watch, well, it's a great movie with me, Dustin Hoffman, Rachel Weisz. That was my first one. And there's a scene that James Foley, the director, great director, he did Glenn Ross. He comes over to me and goes, Frankie, Dustin's going to try something. I don't know what it is. And that was this was my first major film coming out of Sundance.
Oh.
And he goes, he's going to try something. I don't know what it is, but he's going to try something. I said, okay. So the scene one, he's with me here. Here comes Eddie Burns and here comes Rachel Weisz. And I had this big rustler guy with me. So I'm standing behind Dustin Hoffman. I said, he's here. He goes, bring him in. Berman. So, all right, now him and Eddie Burns are going at it with the lines and Rachel Weisz. And he turns to me. He goes over to me and I'm behind him.
Yeah.
And I'm like this, playing the goon that I'm because I play his right-hand man. And he turns over to me. This is what he says. The next time you let him in or something. And he went, boom, hit me right in the eye. Literally in the eye, man. And I looked at him and the camera was on me. He stepped back. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh
my God.
It's not, this is fact. He says it on the DVD. Oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like this. And the big guy is like, oh. And then the director, James Foley, goes, oh, shit. I'm the new cat. I'm the new guy. Got out of Sundance. I'm on Sundance. I got smacked by a legend in my eye.
Did it make it into the film?
It must have, because I know that one did. It has to. It made it. So what happened was, then after the fact, right? In my eye, I used to fight a long time ago. Or many years I used to fight. So he hit me in the eye, and I just stood there. I froze. And I just looked at him. But I'm like, I had to react. But at the same time, my reaction was like, shit. And then I just looked at him. When it said cut, he goes, get him ice. Get him some ice. Get him some ice. I go, no, I don't need it. So one of the PAs come over to me, or one of the PAs or something, he goes, man, I mean, I'm sorry it happened, but I guess that's his method of acting. I said, oh, that's what it is? I like to give him my method of acting.
He's lucky you didn't reflexively just swing because
Oh, and I'm like that.
reflexes.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like boom, boom. Oh,
yeah.
so, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's my. Oh, I'm sorry. That's
That's
my.
my acting method. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah. He would boom, boom. Dustin, I'm sorry. That's just my method of acting. Get up, get up.
What a
And
story.
AJ like this. He's like this
Yeah.
to me. He's like this to me. But I love the guy. I love him. He's fantastic, and it was a pleasure. That was my highlight of my career in that time, and it still is. I hate to say it. Dustin Hoffman is one of my biggest actors that I love to work with. He was great to work with.
What an incredible story to have.
Yeah, people are like telling me, "Oh my God, you got these." It's just facts, you know. It's just that's what happens behind the scenes.
Okay, so I just have some basic questions to finish up
Mm-hmm.
for you, based around Halloween. So basically, what I'm doing,
Halloween.
Halloween,
Yeah,
the
all
best
right.
time of year.
That's my birthday too.
Your
So
birthday's Halloween?
October 30th, one day before Halloween.
I'm so jealous. I always said I would have loved my birthday to have been around Halloween. Parties all around.
Yeah.
But what I'm doing with this series is I'm having guests on from horror classics to talk all things horror, like we have
Okay.
with Saw.
Mm.
But some general questions then.
Mm.
What is one of your favorite memories of Halloween?
My favorite man, trick or treating.
Is there a particular year that stands out?
Just when I was a kid, going out, get the candies, running, knocking on people's doors,
Yeah.
and just trick or treat, having fun with them, and it was great. And also taking my kids out to trick or treating and with the family and stuff. That's a highlight for me.
And when you were a kid, were you a make your own costume kind of kid or store bought?
No, no, I went up as myself. I probably wore a mask
Yeah.
and that was it. Yeah.
And then
I
in
wasn't
late,
a big horror fan at the time. I wasn't that, even though I loved Halloween, the movies and stuff, but I wasn't really, like that. Yeah.
but in later years, be
Yeah.
honest,
Then I started. Now,
be
I went
honest.
last year. I was Jason last year.
Oh yeah?
Jason. Then I'm
Yeah.
Batman this year. I'm gonna be Batman this year.
Sick. You have the costume
Yeah.
and everything?
Yes, I do. We
Oh,
had a for my son's 16th birthday. We did a Marvel theme. So I was Batman. My wife was some Batgirl. Or she was some other, and my son was Spider-Man. He was yeah, he was what's his name? Miles Morales. The Spider-Man in the animation, and
yeah.
we had a great time. Everyone was dressed up as a Marvel comic.
Your kid has taste because Spider-Man is also my favorite superhero and has
Oh,
been
great,
my whole life.
great! I let him know.
But in your adult life then, and be honest, have you ever
Mhm.
dressed up as one of your own characters?
My own characters? No,
You
no,
should.
no.
Oh,
There
come
were
on.
to be to me dressed up like me. Sometimes I may walk around with my goatee. I mean my little thing.
The cut off sleeves, the jeans
No, no,
covered in
no, I
blood.
don't. I go to this haunted house not too far from me, and it's done by the cops.
Huh?
And the cops and firefighters, they rent out this big. They don't rent it out. It's where they do training, and they
Mm.
have the big house, and it's beautiful. It is bananas, man. It is great, and it's free. It's for the community, and there's long lines. But I go there. I go with the kids. We all go, and it's crazy. And then you see the Saw doll there, and I take a picture right next to. You're like, man, Frankie, look the Saw. Look at Billy. Look at Billy. I said, all right, take a picture. Take a picture.
Oh, that
So
must
it's
be
funny.
crazy for you.
Yeah, yeah. But people don't know. They don't know until they say, wait, is that? If they reckon it, but it's at night. I go at night. It's cool.
They're
The kid,
iconic films.
yeah, that's one thing I like about it. It's one of the like one of them in history.
Yeah.
So iconic. So it's great. So when I go to the conventions and the people speak to me about it and how they are Saw fans and they really love the franchise, I tell them thank you. And that's
You
yeah.
definitely do. You got to try and get out there to more cons. I know in Europe,
I know. Yeah.
I think is it For the Love of Horror? I think is London. And
Oh, I love it. I love London. London's beautiful.
you should I swear to you, I guarantee you, if you announced and you did a little booth and put up for promo, guarantee you, especially for things like London Comic Con, there's one in the summer, I
Hmm.
think there's one in the
Hmm.
winter or fall.
Right. Right.
And they get a lot of horror guests and they have
Yeah,
like
they have to call my appearance agent
Yeah.
and see if they could see if they'll book me to
Mm.
go over there, and they fly me down. And I had some people DM me, "Are you coming down here? Are you coming down here? We haven't seen you. We've seen everybody else. We'd like to come."
I can't imagine what it would be like being on your end because I do conventions a lot. Well,
Oh, you do?
we have one in Ireland. It's pretty
Ireland is
small.
beautiful. Ireland is beautiful.
Have you been?
Beautiful. No, I've never been, but I've seen, pictures and stuff like that.
I think
Looks
you'd like
really nice. Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I mean, like we have Dublin Comic Con, which is big
Mhm.
enough, but in comparison to like London cons and stuff like that,
Yeah.
there isn't
Mhm.
much comparison. But like over the
Right.
years, I'd go around to conventions and but it's a blast, man. But I can't imagine what it's like being on your end because I know people would, while you're signing their posters, tell you little stories or little bits and pieces about them, and it must be a lot for you.
Yeah. No, I enjoy that because I give them insight, and
Mm.
they always talk to me about the pit. Oh, I love the pit. I hated you when you did the pit. Oh, I hate it when you did this. But mostly the pit, mostly the needle pit, and I tell them stories, and that's it. And they love, and they didn't know a lot of the stuff of that. And there's another story and saw that they were shooting a film right next door from us. Antonio Banderas. They were shooting this musical. So I got a call from my wife. She called me, and I had all blood all over me. Blood was all over me. I didn't get to change. So after we finished, oh my God, I gotta go. Da, 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 da. I went outside, and there was about 20 kids outside. The minute I walked out,
Oh,
everyone
geez.
screamed,
Oh.
"Oh my God, what happened?" I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute. I'm just shooting a movie back there." They're like, "Oh my goodness. Oh, look at all that blood." They were going bananas. I said, "No, I'm shooting a horror film right next door." So that was creepy. That was cool.
Congratulations
Going
on
out and
scarring the
all
kids
that
for
blood,
life.
all that it was all that blood. When they cut that and all that blood comes out, it's so
Yeah,
cold. It's cold.
yeah.
I'm like when I'm falling down to the ground, I'm like shivering. I'm like, oh,
Oh
all
my
that blood coming right down.
God.
Yeah, and I wanted to say a line. I wanted to say a line when I was on the floor, like when I was going down and he cut my neck. I wanted to say something crazy, but I didn't say it. I wanted to say, "Oh, you mother," and then just.
You should have. Oh, you
I know, but
motherfucker.
I did.
Isn't that
Right,
controversial
right.
with everything else that's been said and done and saw?
Yeah. Oh, that was it. Oh, you motherfucker. Something like
Yeah.
that. My last breath.
But we
I,
know
I
he was
just,
thinking it.
right, right.
But Saw has probably one of the most famous taglines in film history. I want to play a game.
Yeah, that's what I write down. When I sign, I said, "Would you want?" I said, "Oh, there will be blood, or
Yeah.
you want to play a game?" And there
Yeah.
was another one I said that sometimes the handler is with me. She takes them all down. She has it in a little thing, and I
Mm.
write down, so yeah, it's fun. Sometimes I see Billy the Puppet. They got this huge one. I walked into a horror store, and I was Jeepers Creepers, and he said, "Frank, man, I got to customize um, Billy the Puppet. I got a Billy in the box or something." I said, "Oh, I want to see it." So I walked in, and I was right next door.
Mm.
I walked in. I said, "Oh, I loved it. Beautiful, man." He goes, "Yeah, but I had it here for a long time. People come and take pictures, but they're not buying it and stuff."
Yeah.
I said, "Okay." I said, "I'll take a picture. Can you mind taking a picture?" I said, "Sure." So I took a picture with it. But then I had to walk around. I walked around and I came back. I said, "Listen, if you get somebody to buy it, I will sign it." It was really? We put it up on the website. 2 hours later, they bought it.
No way.
Yeah, they came right into this. I was next door to this. I was next door signing with three other characters. We were there. You see like 10 people coming into and I said, "Frank, they just bought it." It was GP. They just bought it. And I just signed. And the guy was ecstatic when he bought it. And I just signed.
And what was it? Like an animatronic?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. It
sick.
talks and keeps it in the box. It's huge. It was like yay big. And
Yeah.
I have a picture on it on my Instagram. When I was there in San Antonio, he got another one. And another guy bought it too. He bought that one too. Another guy came in and he bought it for his son.
Yeah.
And I signed it. And it was banana. And I loved it. It's heavy. I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
my God, I could do curls with this, man." It was like I'm picking up the box. Oh my God, it was great. It was great.
One thing that I always love Is I've done a lot of these interviews with a lot of different people, and I love it when you can see the absolute love and the joy shine through in someone when they're
Mm,
talking about projects. And
mm.
it's just, it has shone from you, and it is so,
Thank you so much. Thank
it's
you.
gorgeous to see because horror, I have loved horror pretty much my whole life. Shows,
Okay.
games,
Hmm.
movies.
Hmm.
Um, and it is quite dark, some of them, but it's a form of escapism too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some of them can be such beautiful pieces of art, and I think Saw is probably one of the best franchises in terms of horror.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
yeah, and it's funny. I don't know if you're aware, but
Hmm.
I love Fortnite. You know the game Fortnite?
Yeah. Oh, my son, forget about it. He's bananas. He's bananas in that.
But at the
Forget it.
moment, they're doing an update where in the game, it's called Fortnightmares. So it's like the horror,
Really?
yeah. And Billy's in the game.
Really? That's
There's this
crazy.
little thing you can pick it up. So instead of like weapons, you pick up, I think it's a stack of like three little billies. And if you
Uh-huh.
throw it at people, it's the little puppet on the bike and he'll
Oh,
pedal
really?
towards them. And I was playing it
Oh my
last night,
God.
right? I was playing it
Really?
last night
Oh,
and throwing billies at people. And I was like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm talking to somebody from Saw tomorrow.
oh my God.
So
Well, oh, my thing is dying out. Oh my God. Hold on. Let me see if I could. I might have to. Hold on. I just got to connect it.
yeah, yeah. Well, there's no worries. Anyway, I was going to let you go. I was just
Hmm.
going to wrap up by saying thank you so much for being such an absolute delight and for being
No,
so
thank you. Thank you
um,
so much for having me. It was
not
fun. It was fun.
Frankie, thank you so
No,
much for
thank you so much. I
it was
really
an
appreciate
absolute
it.
delight,
It was
man.
fun. It was fun. I enjoyed talking to you. It was great.
Oh,
It was great.
delighted to hear that.
Thank you.
And that is it for my chat with Frankie. Oh, what a delightful, delightful person. I have to say, absolutely just a sweetie, just a big old sweetie. There is always a little bit of nerves. There's always a little bit of apprehension going into something like this. Because, to be fair, they don't know me and I don't know them. You know what I'm saying? So there's always a bit of nerves. There's always a bit of anxiety, on my part anyway, at the beginning or just before I start interviews. And you can get a feel for a person very quick as to what kind of person they are, what they're like. And I love a good conversationalist. I love somebody that it just flows from them. And Frankie's definitely one of those people. So this video was an absolute delight. Again, thank you. Big thank you to Frankie for sitting and for talking and for sharing stories from set. Like I said, all of his info is linked down below if you want to go find him on other socials. Keep your eyes peeled on my channel for any upcoming interviews. I think I should have another one or two going up this week. So I'm just letting you guys know to keep your eyes peeled for that. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you all soon.